Who are we is perhaps the most persistent and unsettling of human questions. Yet, in a world saturated with images, carefully curated identities on social media, the relentless performance of success, the commodification of selfhood, we no longer seek an answer within, but rather in the reflections cast by others. We mistake the self for the self, trading authenticity for validation. The ancient Delphic maxim has been supplanted, but what happens when the display becomes the only reality we recognize? We become strangers to ourselves, lost in a hall of mirrors, where every reflection is distorted, yet we adjust our posture to fit the warped glass. We live in an age of too much information, too much stimulation, too many demands on our attention. The digital world bombards us with impressions at a speed our minds did not evolve to process. The result is not enlightenment, but exhaustion, a fragmentation of consciousness where focus becomes a scarce resource. The philosopher Blaise Pascal once wrote, "Today, we flee silence more than ever, filling every void with noise, images, and endless scrolling. But in doing so, we lose the capacity for depth, for the kind of sustained thought that allows us to distinguish what from what merely." We are conditioned to believe that more equals better, more possessions, more experiences, more status. But this is the false image at its most deceptive. The things we think we must do, climb career ladders, accumulate wealth, maintain appearances, are often just scripts written by a culture of consumption, leading us to question what truly matters. The Stoics warned of mistaking external achievements for inner worth. Marcus Aurelius asked, "Why do you not rather act like a man who is sick and call for the physician?" If we are drowning in impressions, perhaps the cure is not more stimulation but less, a deliberate unburdening, a return to simplicity. What then is the essence of life? It is not found in the accumulation of things or the approval of others, but in the quiet moments of presence, in the ability to see, to feel, to think without the filter of external expectations. It is in the recognition that we are not our resumes, not our social media profiles, not even our reputations. The guarantee of living well lies in discernment, the ability to sift through the noise and hold fast to what is real. It requires the courage to step away from the false images we have constructed and inherited, to ask, what do I truly need? What do I truly value? Reduction is not deprivation, it is liberation. To strip away the excess is to rediscover the core. The Japanese concept of jian, the beauty of negative space, teaches that emptiness is not lack, but potential. In silence we hear, in stillness we see. Perhaps the way forward is not in chasing more, but in letting go of distractions, of false obligations, of the need to perform. To restore balance, we must learn to say enough. How did we drift so far from ourselves? By mistaking images for reality, by letting the world dictate our desires rather than listening to our own depths. But the path back is always open. It begins with a single act of refusal. To step out of the storm of impressions, to breathe, to remember. We are not what we display, we are what we quietly, persistently, authentically are. And in that recognition, we may yet find our way home. We are not human beings having a spiritual experience. We are spiritual beings having a human experience. Pierre Teilhard de Chardin.